Broadcasting by way of Gallifrey. Stand by for podcast. This is Voices from the Vortex.
Listen, this is very important, and all of you out there need to understand this. I am trapped inside this TARDIS. It has somehow shrunk to the size of a kid's toy, and only my face can be visible. I cannot get out. So for the love of God, somebody please, you have to review this episode.
I'll do it.
I mean, hi, I'm Matt.
I'm Matt, but you can call me Taylor.
Hey guys, welcome to the Vortex. We are here to talk about, my God, the best episode this season.
I liked it.
Flatline.
I wouldn't say best episode of the season, because I really liked the Mummy episode, but...
The Mummy episode was phenomenal.
But this one was very, very good.
This episode came out of nowhere and has some of, I think, some of the best moments this season.
Yes.
But we finally, I feel like we're finally getting a handle on this Doctor, and I really love it. I love it a lot.
Yeah, I do too. He's really he's coming into his own, and we've seen him in action now several times, and we kind of almost know what to expect from him. And it's good to sort of have that knowing feeling. We didn't have that at the first 3-4 episodes, and we were worried. But now I'm not worried.
A lot of stuff happened in this episode, guys, and, you saw it. That's why you're listening to us. Some of the big stuff, though, some of the important themes, I think, of the season really did come through. One of the things this season has really been promoting is the Doctor fixing his mistakes. It's the Doctor addressing his mistakes, addressing the world, and putting his trust in others, where maybe he didn't have that there before. I think we've established that he really did trust Clara to make a decision a couple episodes ago, and continues to trust Clara. And this episode, I brought that right back to the forefront, where he couldn't be the hero he wanted to be. He couldn't be the Doctor that he wanted to be. And so someone else had to be the Doctor.
Mm-hmm. And the interesting thing about this episode, I think, is she takes this challenge on. She's like, all right, you trust me, I will handle this. And she does, and it makes him kind of take a step back. He's sort of seeing how people see him. And he's not all pleased about it. He's a little...
No, he's not.
He's a little... Oh, that's what I sound like, and that's, in a funny way too. But then also it gets real serious at the end, which we'll talk about. So
one of the big things about again, Clara taking it on herself to become like the Doctor. She seemed really. You're right. She wasn't reluctant at all. She just sort of took it. She wanted to be the Doctor. She asked for his screwdriver. She took his. She took his stuff, his psychic paper, and a screwdriver, and it was like she expected him to give it to her.
Yeah, and one of the big things that she does several times in this episode is she starts lying a lot, and especially to Danny, which I have some interesting thoughts on that. But and that's where the Doctor sorts of kind of say, well, hey, now you're lying. What have I turned you into? And he's kind of not. I wouldn't say he's not happy about it, but he's kind of rethinking.
Well, he seemed shocked
a little bit
that she would assume to be the Doctor you have to lie, and that I think he was shocked, and that's weird because that was rule 1, and that was Matt Smith. The Doctor lies. Is it just me, or does it almost seem like he doesn't expect anyone to see him the way he used to be? Is he trying to be a new man?
Well, he looks the part. But yeah, that's the thing with regeneration is and especially with Capaldi now, that whole speech at the beginning, I've made mistakes and it's time to fix them. Maybe this is one of his mistakes. And to be honest, I've noticed this because what is he? He's brutally honest. He's been totally brutally honest this whole season. He doesn't lie to make others be, okay with what he's doing.
Nope.
He's like, look, this is going to be unpleasant.
Right.
Into the Dalek. Yeah, well, I was just doing that because he was going to die anyway.
That's a really good point.
And, Ross, yeah, he's in here. He's on the top layer or whatever. And then that. And, things, and
so wait,
in his Robin Hood's Merry Men, he's like, you only have like 6 months to live or whatever. so yeah, he doesn't really lie that much anymore.
So knowing that he gets super, super angry at Clara for lying to everybody at the end, getting Clara lying at Danny and Clara lying at everyone else, is it because he expects her to be more like him now? Maybe she's starting to become more like Matt Smith was, more like the old version of himself.
Possibly. And well, another thing too is I really think this sort of gave him an introspective look at himself and how he used to be.
Yeah.
Because one of the parts I can really remember that sort of took me back as I watched it was Clara was talking to him like, okay, what do I do now? They got into the subway or whatever, and she's like, I hope I can keep them all alive. And he's like, welcome to my world. And she's like, okay, well, I need to lie to them and give them hope. And he's like, geez, is that what I do?
Yeah.
He's like, well, people who have hope do run faster, but others, and he says something, they don't and they die or something. It was really like real blunt and to the point, and he was like, geez, that's kind of, he kind of was like, whoa, that's what I sound like? Okay.
That is weird, though. It's funny you point that out. I don't know. That almost seems contradictory to the things he's been doing all season. He's been trying to be more and more blunt to people, and then all of a sudden she's being him, and he's like, no, wait a minute. Why are you doing that for?
Well, and I think, it could also be maybe less about himself and look at himself and then look at what he's sort of turned Clara into. Because Clara should not have that attitude.
No, she really shouldn't.
She shouldn't. And he's shocked that she would, that these are coming out of her mouth. They're her ideas that she's gotten from him. And so what he says at the end, there was, you were a great doctor, but goodness had nothing to do with it.
Right.
So yeah.
That is, yeah. I'm worried about where Clara's headed.
I know the end of this season's going to be really, really crazy.
I have a theory about what might happen to Clara, and we'll go over that at the end here. I'll wait till the very end of this podcast. We'll see what you think.
All right. Well, this episode was also written by Jamie Matheson, who wrote Mummy on the Orient Express, and I just want to give a quick bravo to Jamie Matheson. Wrote like the two best episodes this season. I really hope he comes back next season, and I'd love to see more of his stuff. And I'll be excited when I see his name from now on.
He way to write well, and I'm gonna piggyback off of that for you, bud. Too way to write two completely different episodes.
Yeah.
Flatline and Mummy on the Orient Express could not be further apart from how they're presented, from the level of terror, the level of adultness and seriousness, from the type of story.
Well,
Mummy on the Orient Express had so much more goofiness to it. This was not funny. This episode was not funny.
No.
There were a couple of moments that you thought were... one in particular... which was an Addams Family reference that you just loved.
That was the best moment of the whole show. God. I laughed out loud so hard at that moment.
This season has so many good moments in it.
Yeah.
And this episode gave us like 3 or 4 of them, and at least 2 of them, the Doctor doing one character. And you're just the hand and the Addams Family hand moving the TARDIS. That was so good. That was amazing. Yeah. And he saved the TARDIS. He did it using his hand, using the only thing he had left to use.
Yeah.
And then not only that, but then the little dance he does.
Yeah.
The little dance just killed me.
Yeah. But going back to what you were saying about the two episodes being different, I mean, you're right. They were really good. And I also think he really gets where, like, Moffat probably sort of, gave him a quick little speech, like, here's where I'm going with the characters this season. He really gets it. I mean, he wrote the script.
Yes,
there was no and Stephen Moffat on these. He really gets the characters and how to write a good Doctor Who episode. And I'm excited to see more episodes from it.
Something else I want to point out about these two episodes, I've gotten this definite impression. You're watching these episodes, and the speech that he gives at the end of this one is a good example of it. But you feel like these episodes weren't written for Capaldi. And not that they weren't written years ago for a different Doctor, but they were written, and any of the Doctors so far we've seen could have played it. I think Eccleston could have done great in this role. I think David Tennant could have done that speech at the end better than anyone else. I think, or I could see him doing it. I can see Smith playing this role, pacing in the TARDIS, trying to figure stuff out. Everything about this and The Mummy on the Orient Express feels like it could have been written for any Doctor. And I think that's key, because you don't write Capaldi as the Doctor. You write the Doctor. Capaldi, it gives his impersonation, his interpretation of him. But it's still the same guy, and it needs to be the same guy. These scripts are written for the same man, and that just different actors happen to be playing them. And I thought that was really well done. I think that you're right. This guy, the writer, really gets it. And Moffat tends to write those scripts too, but Moffat's scripts tend to be a little more specific to the actor. I think he writes the actor's strengths. Yeah,
that's a good point. It's now time for Taylor's favorite, funniest lines. Here we go. Okay, so they're in the TARDIS. He's in the TARDIS and he's real tiny, and she's like, do you think this is aliens? And he goes, possibly, although who am I kidding? Probably.
That was really good. Good line.
The little machine that he made, he called it the TARDIS. That was
the 2D.
The 2DIS. To dice? It's like, no, it's the TARDIS. Come on. Finally, and we'll get to it again later, but finally, Missy was using an iPad. I thought that was like, they use Apple products, I guess, in the nether sphere.
Always thought Steve Jobs could have opened up his business to heaven.
Only Steve Jobs.
Only Steve Jobs.
So, yeah. Not as many funny lines in this one. You were right. This one's not as funny, but there were a lot of good moments.
There were some really good moments in this. Some of the things that I was really impressed with, even earlier on, I really liked the kid that they introduced. And he played it as and he was a kid. Mm-hmm. Like, he felt like some, he was bigger than his age, so he felt like maybe he was 14 or 15, and he had really screwed up in life, and he, wasn't paying attention to what he was doing, and he was spray painting stuff at night, and he was a delinquent, and he wasn't going to school, so he was in this work program, basically, and I felt like the character fit, and who else but a teacher to catch him and take him along on the journey. I really enjoyed that.
It was sort of her little companion, since she was the Doctor in this episode. She got to pick her own companion, so that was fun.
I was trying to figure out at the end when they're doing the whole goodbyes and nobody says anything to the Doctor. And I was trying to figure out why that scene bothered me and what about it was going on. I was like, wait, something's wrong here. But she was the Doctor.
Yeah, well, and the other thing, too, they'd never seen him this whole time. And the other thing, too, the train driver was like, oh, thank you, Clara, and he gave her a hug, and then he looks at the Doctor really strangely. It gives him this
because she was the Doctor.
He gives him this
because in this episode,
gives him this look.
She was the Doctor.
He was the guy.
Briggsy was the companion.
He was just the guy who came out at the end and was like, oh.
I'll take credit for it.
So that was really weird that he just kind of looked at him like, oh, okay, bye.
I love the effect of putting the nervous system on the wall. That was kind of cool.
The visual effects of this episode were so good. So good. Okay.
That apartment scene blew my mind.
With the couch and then the super creepy 3D zombies coming out of the ground. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Okay, so this episode... Okay, just think back, everyone. We're going to time travel a little bit. Let's go back to 2005. Okay. We all remember the trash can eating Mickey, right? Oh my god, we've come so far. We've come so far in this show.
They were so good. This show has gone so far. We've been saying this since probably season 6. I think we finally reached a level where everything is everything's movie quality now for the show. The budget's so big. We don't see special effects like a television show. When it started in 2005, Series 1, it was very science fiction original TV show. Mm-hmm. And then Season 2 was a little bit better. Season 3 was a lot better. By the time we hit Season 4, everything got kicked up a notch. New cameras, better quality film, better quality directing, better music. Everything just felt better. But it was still very maybe major networks in America. It was still ABC level. It was still NBC. It was CBS. Yeah. It was a lot of money, but still not there. And then when we finally get to Matt Smith, after his first season, we hit movie quality. The budgets are so big, the episodes are so big, and any one of these episodes could be on the big screen.
Yeah,
yeah, and you could sit there and go, wow. And then season 6, very much so, every episode, but there was a lot of story going on. And then once you hit season 7, and they were like, we're going to make every single episode a movie, and they were right. It was brilliant because they had it. They had the production and the special effects and everything. This season is absolutely no stranger to this.
Yeah.
They have blown us away time and again with just some of the top-notch quality.
I would say better. I would say better. Even you didn't think they'd get better, but they got it's better.
They did. Yeah. Even the directing. When you look at the camera shots, the stuff in the TARDIS with the Doctor is just amazing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right, enough raving.
I want to talk about Missy. Let's do this.
You want to skip to the end? Okay.
It's time.
Okay.
Stephen Moffat, knock it off. Okay? Knock it off. Okay. I get it. Russell T. Davies could do the seasonal story arc better than anyone else, and he could. You can't. You can't do it, Stephen Moffat. You have to beat us over the head with tiny little add-ons at the very end of an episode. Okay? It was, the crack shows up in every episode. Ooh, I wonder if that's the theme. Bad Wolf was literally harder to find in every episode of Season 1 than you think.
Yeah.
There were episodes where Bad Wolf was just one tiny little thing, and you didn't catch it. Torchwood was there, obviously. That was a drop in line. But Steven, you're throwing stuff out there. You're like, when was Amy pregnant or wasn't she? At the end of every episode, we had to look at the screen and see the little thing flipping around. Okay, that's not foreshadowing.
Yeah,
it's not.
I would agree. I would agree with you on that.
And season 7, you did a good job. You reined it in. You're like, screw it. It'll just be ideas. That was good. But then you got to season 8. And you're like, let's bring in a character. Let's just make it mysterious character who shows up in every episode and is doing something kind of quirky and weird that you don't understand and won't until the very end. Mm-hmm. Knock it off.
Yeah.
I don't need to see Missy. You didn't have to show me her at all. You could have waited all the way to the very last episode and then just had a quick scene where it showed how she was doing stuff with everything from every episode. You don't. You're beating me over the head. So knock it off, Moffat. Knock it off. Get better at it, or just hire Russell to come back and write some ideas.
Season 7 was good because it was Clara was the theme. I mean, there were other themes, and we've talked about them too. But Clara was the main theme. It was her mystery. The Impossible Girl was the mystery that season.
Yes,
and we get it right off the bat at the first. And the only reason it was a mystery to us was because we knew that she was going to be the new companion. We knew that Jenna Coleman was going to be the new companion. So, at first, if you didn't know that, that's brilliant, because then she shows up again, and you're like, what?
Right.
Okay, so, and then the Doctor he's just like, and they kind of went to that little bit of an annoying place where at the end of every episode, the Doctor's like, who are you?
Right.
But they didn't do it as much.
Impossible.
It just became part of their everyday sort of conversations and reasons,
right.
Reasons they went places and things like that.
Right.
But no, I agree with you on this one. The only good thing about this drop-in scene is we get some sort of motivation or something.
Do
right?
we?
She says...
We don't get anything.
She says, Clara, I've chosen well.
The hell does that mean? She's
it
watching.
Means a lot.
No, it means nothing. It opens up the door for 1,000 more questions, but answers nothing. Mysterious woman in an afterlife, apparently, who calls herself the Doctor's girlfriend, who is picking off the souls of people who supposedly died during the episodes. Okay. Crazy high-end level thinking on a story idea, fine, whatever. But then randomly we get a my Clara, I chose well, as she stalks her on Facebook. Dude, that's not woman who runs heaven. That's like the person who literally Jenna Coleman has to put a restraining order against. That's not the same thing.
Yeah, well,
this doesn't. Okay,
see, but
I'm sorry.
I think questions are exciting. Chosen for what? What is it?
So I have a theory.
Okay, but hold on.
All right.
Is it? Are
Yeah.
we there yet?
I don't know.
No.
Tell me when we're there, because This is bothering me, and
we'll get to Matt's crazy theory at the end.
Theorize.
Here we go. Okay, so the jerk guy who was like, paint over your name, Riggsy. Anyway, him. Apparently he can beat the psychic paper because he has a lack of an imagination. So, alright, now we're going to go into the technicalities of the psychic paper.
Right.
Okay, so you either have to have a lack of an imagination or a really vibrant imagination to beat the psychic paper. So Shakespeare can beat the psychic paper. This idiot who works in maintenance, of city maintenance, can beat it. But you have to be in this sweet spot in between, and you'll be fooled.
So, the psychic paper is supposed to make you see what you want to see.
Yeah.
But like everything the Doctor uses, it's really tied to the Doctor's psyche. The sonic screwdriver is slightly telepathic. The Doctor doesn't actually set a setting on there to scan for a particular thing. He thinks that he wants it, and it scans for the thing.
There's only one button.
Right? The TARDIS is slightly psychic in that it's translating stuff for you. So it's changing your mind a little bit. And it understands you and it hears you. The psychic papers is no different. It's like everything in the Doctor's universe is a psychic imprint. So, okay. There's that. Dude's a dick. The dick dude. Whatever he was. Mr. I'm a Dick 2014 runner-up. And he had no imagination, so I just felt like the Doctor was just lying. Like he was just trying to... I don't think Clara's powerful enough to have really used the psychic paper. Now, that being said, a couple episodes ago, they did say that one young girl that they took with them on Kill the Moon, Courtney, that she was running around town using it, so... Well,
and she did use it on the police officer...
She did.
In this episode, too. So...
Maybe this guy was just too clever.
Yeah. It's really, and that's the kind of the problem you have with made-up tools and made-up technology. Like, what can it do? What can it not do?
Because then as soon as you need a limitation for it, the limitation doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, exactly. So, there's a new little thing, too. The Doctor, he's got a little work desk underneath.
He does.
On the TARDIS. I thought that was funny.
It's like everyone expected him to be down there, like building something and like working on the TARDIS, but he had a little work desk and he was drawing.
Yeah,
he's writing out plans. He's such a cerebral Doctor.
He was making a TARDIS. Another interesting thing too, with the technology that we just talked about, is the TARDIS. can go into siege mode, where it turns into a tiny Pandorica.
Okay, that was so cool.
That was
and
neat.
It makes sense if the doctors said before what the TARDIS is defended against, and talked like the hordes of Genghis Khan. Well, he probably put it in something like a siege mode, where nothing could get in or out.
Yeah,
and just wore down, Genghis Khan and his army. So if you think of it that way, then it's possible at that time the TARDIS landed as a piece of maybe the Great Wall of China. A chameleon circuit changed it into that, and he used siege mode to protect the Great Wall of China.
Nice.
I mean, that was before, before the TARDIS got stuck.
Yeah. I
mean, all the times we hear about the TARDIS being this impenetrable thing, we can imagine this was something he would have used.
So yeah, and where's that episode? Because that episode sounds awesome.
Right? Siege
Part no
mode.
fan fiction. Anyway.
That was a very bizarre sound of joy from me, guys.
Yeah.
Fan fiction.
And while we're on the subject of technology, too, another thing that was cool, but it was a little disappointing, was the little earpiece that Clara put in, and then the doctor could see through her optic nerve. Mm-hmm. I was a little disappointed that she didn't have to wear the goofy glasses that Rory had to wear.
Because he likes her, and when Rory wore the glasses,
how
they were
awesome
goofy.
This episode awesome this episode would have been if Claire was wearing sweet hipster glasses the whole episode.
Yeah. But again, the doctor wanted to make Rory feel and look goofy all the time.
That's true.
He didn't need those glasses. He just made him wear them.
He's like, I also got these things I can stick in your ear, but no, these. Top of the line.
Also, you have to put on this peacock feather outfit.
It's silly.
It's important.
I mean, it's the only way to save her.
And put on this old Cyberman hat. And
Cyberman hat.
Because it's got like those little things that come out of the ears, And it's, it goes over your head, but just the top part. So it's a hat. It's a hat.
It's a hat.
And you got to wear these like rubber flip flops.
I want a Cyberman hat.
Don't we all? I just like he puts them in the and then he wears a tutu, and then he wears a bathing suit, and then he wears a bra, and then he's got him in the most ridiculous outfit that Rory could possibly wear, and then he unleashes him to go diplomatically talk to this new race they just met. The doctor's inside, just snickering to himself, as Rory's I come in peace, work. Do I really have to say work?
Yes,
they don't
Rory.
know the difference.
You have to say And Amy's like, yeah, Rory, just say it.
She's in on it.
Yeah. All right. So I'm looking at my notes here, and I ended up writing down. I realized I ended up writing down a lot of things that Clara did as, quote, the Doctor, that were really interesting.
Okay.
The first one is she saves Riggsy. He's about to go sacrifice himself. He's about to drive the train into the guys, and she saves him. And I really loved that scene. I loved the whole business with the hairband and her saying, I'll look at this hairband and think about the hero who died to save us. I really loved all that business. So I thought that was interesting because that part to me seemed unlike the Doctor. It seemed that, especially Capaldi, because we've seen him let people sacrifice themselves this whole time, this whole series. I thought that was sort of Clara's way of doing things.
Well, if you remember, what was the most impressive thing about Donna during the Metacrisis? She was human. Mm-hmm. Part human, part Time Lord. So she had the Time Lord knowledge, but she had all that humanity, that little gut instinct. Yeah. That she could be creative, something Time Lord couldn't do. So maybe this is, again, Clara's becoming more like the Doctor, but she's creative because she's human. The Doctor can only think of so many ideas, but a human could come up with something no one had ever thought of.
Mm-hmm. The other thing I wrote too was Clara when she tricks the boneless, which we'll talk about in a second. She tricks them into using their zappy powers to re-energize the TARDIS. She says, "Rule 1 of being the Doctor: use your enemy's power against them."
Yes.
And then that was really interesting because, first of all, she says Rule 1, and we're all like, "Oh, the Doctor lies." And we're like, no, something else.
No, something new.
Something new is Rule 1, and it's pretty dark. So,
well, I mean, and he does though. He uses an enemy's weaknesses and powers against them.
Mm-hmm. And then the very end, the very last scene, he says, "Well, some died, but we saved the world, right? And there's the balance. That's how you think, isn't it? You gotta have the balance." And he's really taken aback by that statement too.
When what did he respond? He said, "Yes, Sue, so no one else has to."
Mm-hmm.
He accepts. I gotta make the tough calls. He said this a couple episodes to her too. Sometimes it's a crappy choice, but you got to make one.
Yeah.
He has to look at everything like how do I, the best amount of good, the most amount of good for the most amount of people.
Mm-hmm.
I like the name Boneless.
Yes, it sounds delicious.
It does. They're bone out. That's what they are.
Dipped with
hot
ranch.
Sauce.
Anyway. Blue cheese.
I loved that moment where he banishes them.
Yes.
So we know that names have a power in Doctor Who. We've seen that with the Carrionites. And remember, it was Shakespeare's words that brought the Carrionites there, so Shakespeare had to send the Carrionites back with his words. And the Doctor kind of mimics that. He does that with the Boneless.
Uh-huh.
He tells them, I name you and banish you. He used those words. He is purposefully taking up the mantle of being the thing that defends this realm and sentences them to wherever they go.
Right. Well, and what was great about this episode, that part too, was it was his "I am the Doctor" moment. You know what I mean? Like that music playing, I'm pretty sure that's his theme right there. I mean, him saying "I am the Doctor," and I name you the Boneless, and he says, "I'm the man who defeats the monsters," or whatever he says. Or that stops the monsters.
Everyone
that was so
keeps
great.
calling this the "I am the Doctor" moment, saying this is his coming out party. This is his moment where man, he is from here on out. Yeah, he is definitely the Doctor. I don't buy it. I mean, he hasn't had that moment yet, but the whole season has been him being post that moment.
Yeah,
I feel like yes, David Tennant had that moment. The Earth is protected, and Matt Smith had that moment with basically Run, but Eccleston didn't have that moment. Eccleston didn't need that moment.
Mm-mm.
Because the Doctor isn't about the moment. It isn't about that "I am the Doctor" moment. It's about all the things that he does, all the little things, the adventures he undertakes.
Yeah.
Eccleston was just traveling, and he uncovered all this stuff, and the same thing's happening now with Capaldi. I refute that this is an "I am the Doctor" moment.
Well, I think it's coming a lot.
Speech.
I think it's coming a lot from the words used. They're very similar to Matt Smith's "I am the Doctor" moment, and
I get that.
And
I mean, people are calling this his moment. That other reviews online, plenty of fans are saying there it is. That's what we've been waiting all season for. And I say, if that's what you've been waiting for, that's the folly. You're going to hate what comes next because that was just a really good moment.
Yeah, it was.
And he banishes them, but that was not a defining. That in no way proves to me he's the Doctor.
No.
Does that make sense?
His I would say his defining moment is as where it should be in the first episode, after the guy falls from the balloon and they pans back up to him and he kind of gives that look. That's
that look speaks louder than words.
Yeah, that to me that was sort of the defining of okay, that's the Doctor. That's who he's going to be here for 2 or 3 seasons.
I also like the idea that this Doctor, much like Eccleston, he's not a superhero.
Yeah.
I mean, David Tennant and Matt Smith were superheroes, whether they have powers or not. They were action stars. They were James Bond wrapped in Clark Kent, topped off with a little bit of Captain America. Captain Britannia. It was... just getting the terminology right there. No, I mean, they were superheroes. They were dashing about, saving the universe, explosions behind them. And this Doctor's like, nah, no running. Come on, let's just saunter. And let's do this because I'm doing it, Grumpy.
I love in Time Heist when they're running down the corridor and he's like, okay, all right. He's like, slow down. That's enough. Not so much running for this one. So yeah, that's and then the part she and I saw this online. I thought it was really interesting. I thought we could bring it up. When she's with Rigsy and they're in the room and the boneless are coming up the walls and everything, she answers the call. So she's in mortal danger. She answers Danny's phone call. But when she's talking to the Doctor at the end, trying to get him to say, admit it, I'm good, admit it, he calls and she ignores the call. She's not in mortal danger at this point. She's just talking to the Doctor. She ignores the call. That spells trouble in my book.
There it is, though.
Yeah.
You said it, right?
Yeah.
Any other moment, she can talk to him because she can lie to him. She's talking to the Doctor. That's the one lie she's trying to get across, is that she's not with him. And
even he's like, talk to him, answer the phone. And she's like, no, he can wait. And that's
she is definitely walking a very tight rope.
Yeah, and the Doctor sees this, and I think I think he's sort of afraid a little bit about how he's affecting Clara,
right.
And as much as he's annoyed by Danny, he doesn't want to ruin things. He knows that
there's a very
he makes her
very
happy
big fall coming for her.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say it now. That brings us right to where we need to be.
All right, boys
I realize,
and girls,
of course.
gather round.
Gather round now, children.
I
want to tell you a bit of story.
Theories.
Once upon a time, there's a man named Johnson. Yes, you, Johnson, and you're fired. God, Craig Ferguson would be the best Doctor. Okay, look. I know we've got a whole episode and then the two-parter, so we're probably not going to know any of this stuff for another 2 weeks. All right, here we go. I think Clara is being cultivated. I think everything that's happening to her, in a way, is her, but in another way is not her. I think the TARDIS, which is psychically linked to her and the Doctor, is purposefully changing her. So she becomes more and more like the Doctor. I think the reason for this is because I think Missy is the TARDIS. I think heaven is inside the TARDIS.
Okay.
I think it all has to do with an energy matrix.
Okay.
And I think it's because the TARDIS is dying. I think the TARDIS needs a soul to keep it going, to change it, to make it continue to work, because the TARDIS probably shouldn't be alive this long. But the Doctor has been alive this long. And with everything it's gone through, the TARDIS should be dying. Everything it's had to deal with. I think Clara is being cultivated to take its place. And I think that'll happen at Christmas. I think we're going to see all of this leading up to. And then once Clara becomes the TARDIS, that'll just be the sad, sad existence we live in, knowing from now until the end of time that anytime the Doctor talks to, touches, responds to, moves with, anything that has to do with the TARDIS, that it's Clara.
Insert cuckoo clock sound effect.
Right?
Man, that is a wild theory, Matt.
How else? Why would the TARDIS have? When the TARDIS was psychically linked to her, it took her to when the Doctor was a kid on Gallifrey.
Because of some crazy Moffat reason. I don't know.
But that's what I'm saying. That's the crazy Moffat reason. It was linked to her. It was within her time stream. Mm-hmm. How did it end up there? Unless she becomes a part of the machine, which exists throughout the Doctor's existence.
That would be pretty neat. And I don't think it's going to happen. I think it's going to be something else crazy that we didn't see coming. But
Missy is the Doctor.
If,
She's his next regeneration. Capaldi regenerates. Dun, dun, dun.
He becomes his own boyfriend? Wait a minute.
Captain Jack would
so anyway,
be so
no.
proud.
Back to your original theory, though.
Yes.
I think that would be really interesting if that did happen. I would be okay with it. It's something new, something I hadn't thought of. The way to go.
No. And then Danny starts traveling with them next year, and Danny just constantly argues with the TARDIS.
Well, that's an interesting point, because there was an interview recently where Samuel Anderson said, I can't wait to... It was very vague. It was something along the lines of, I can't wait to see, where we go next or something.
But he basically said...
I'm going to be there, so... Next series.
But Clara
won't. We'll see what happens. I don't know. It's interesting. Maybe nothing's going to happen at the end of this series. Maybe Clara and Danny are both going to travel with him for a whole other season. Or 5 episodes of a season. And then we get a new one, like last season.
I like the Ponds.
I do too.
However.
Yes, they were around.
I liked Ian and Barbara. However, we don't need another couple on the TARDIS.
No, and Clara's been there for 2 seasons now, plus the 50th anniversary, which makes her kind of the ultimate companion in some respects. No,
don't buy it. She's been there for a season and a half. Moffat screwed her out of a half a season.
Yeah, but he gave her the 50th anniversary. And an extra
He gave
Christmas
David
special.
Tennant the 50th anniversary. Doesn't mean David Tennant had an extra season.
That's true.
She was in an anniversary episode. Technically, everybody should be in an anniversary episode.
Technically they were.
They
anyway,
were.
So I think if Clara left at the end of the season, it would be fine. It would be normal as far as time.
The reports are she leaves at Christmas.
I would be very sad, but it would be fine.
My whole theory falls apart because you have to then carry it over to Christmas, and that doesn't make it. Why would you do that at Christmas then? Why would you make it that sad?
You know what I'm kind of hoping for? I'm hoping that the Christmas episode turns out to be something one-off, like a one-off Christmas episode. Time of the Doctor and the Snowmen were so dependent on the story that was going on.
Yes.
It's been a while since
it's been since Christmas Carol.
No, the Doctor, the Widow, and the Wardrobe.
Oh, right.
The one after that. That's
came
the
after.
last sort of one-off Christmas special where he meets some random people and does something. So I think for Capaldi to have his own little one-off Christmas special, I think that'd be great.
I don't know. You see, and this is me though. I'm not sure how much I like the Christmas specials. I like that we get an extra episode. That's really cool. But that it has to be Christmas themed. That it has to be, we're running out of really good Christmas ideas. You're going to have to make an episode where he's Santa Claus, Moffat. It's going to happen. So just do it. Just get it done with. But outside of that, you're running out of good Christmas episodes. Because, Russell T. Davies did the Aliens Come to Earth Independence Day. He did the disaster film. He did the rom-com. And then he did Cybermen in the Snow. Kind of does it all. I don't count End of Time Parts 1 and 2 as anything, because they're just the finale. But technically End of Time Part 2 was a Christmas special, if you want to call it that. And then you get Christmas Carol. Christmas. Right.
Part 2 is New Year's.
And then you get the Christmas Carol. And A Christmas Carol is the best Christmas special they've ever done.
It's really good.
Because it was a Christmas Carol with Matt Smith playing the ghost of Christmas past, present, and future. Then you get Dr. Widow in a Wardrobe, again, Christmassy but fun. So you did Narnia. And then everything since then has just been story based on what they were doing. I don't like the one-off Christmas specials. I like an extra episode, but I'd also like maybe an extra 6. Just make the season 13 episodes.
Yeah. Make
the season premiere have nothing to do with the run for the whole season. Just make it the premiere.
And you know what I miss a little bit is two-parters. So I'm glad we're getting a 2-part finale.
Yeah.
I miss them just a little bit. I miss the cliffhangers. I'm a big cliffhanger fan. So
I am too.
They don't have those too much anymore.
We did not get any in season 7, and that was a shame.
Yeah.
Technically, there were cliffhangers, and they were good. But we didn't get a 2-parter cliffhanger, which was usually the series finale. The 2-parter, that first one, that cliffhanger was always really, 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 really good, and it kept building to something even bigger. Yeah. I like that. You're right. I don't know. I like 2-parters when you don't expect them, and I like 2-parters when it's not guaranteed you're going to get 2 or 3 of them per season.
Yeah,
that bothered me.
Well,
I get so.
I feel like it depends too on the story. If there's enough story in it, because sometimes if they make it 2 parts, stretch it out a little too long. Like Suntaran Stratagem.
So by season 4, I was pretty much done with the format.
Yeah.
Because it was, oh, great, so I'm going to get an episode where they meet, and it's in present day. I'm going to get a historical episode. I'm going to get another episode, and then I got to go through a damn 2-parter just to get to a plot episode. Son of a bitch. I just want to, just give me Davros and the Daleks. Just give me the planets are disappearing.
All right, so let's go back to this episode. That's all I had for this. So, unless you had anything else,
I don't. Okay. Guys, this season has been so good. It's just getting so much better, and I think the format for the season is working. I'm glad we have more answers. I'm happier in the second half than I was in the first half. I thought this was a great episode, and absolutely nothing beats the Doctor dancing. Nothing. And
this one had so many great moments in it. And so, a lot of subtle things too that I didn't pick up the first time because I was a little distracted as I was watching it the first time. And I watched it the second time. I'm like, oh man, these are such good lines and such good. And this series has just been so great. And this was another one knocked out of the park. If I go back through the series. Other series, I don't know. Series, I guess, is the same word. Plural. Other series, if I go back, I could probably pick out 3 or 4 that I'm like, it's just okay.
Yeah.
Okay. This season, maybe only 1 or 2, maybe so far, and that's awesome. The Dalek one, and then I wasn't a big fan of Kill the Moon, but I think if I watched it again now, knowing what I know now, it might grow on me a little better. I don't know.
I didn't like the Dalek one, and I really didn't like the Robin Hood one. Sorry, I was the first fun one, and I was really thankful for that. But
it was a real simple story, but
they're the weakest of this entire season.
Well, I think it may have seemed a little better to us because we just were fresh off that Dalek one. That was okay.
We were fresh off Deep Breath, which didn't give us everything we wanted. We were fresh off the Dalek one, which I think was a disappointment. Yeah. Probably should have been later on in the season, but we talked about that.
But these since Listen, it's been really
Listen
really
was amazing. Time Heist was amazing. The Caretaker was hilarious. Kill the Moon I thought was great.
Mummy on the Orient Express. Probably one of my favorite episodes now.
Of all who? Yeah, absolutely.
And then of course this one was really, really good. So keep it up, Doctor Who.
Yeah.
I didn't know what to think as a new Doctor, a new sort of direction. I'd come to know what to expect, and now you're throwing stuff at me that's new, and I'm loving it. So keep it up. I'm excited for the end of this. I'm excited and sad that we're almost near the end, which brings us to.
I'll tell you what. it hasn't been as bad lately. So let's kick it up a notch. This brings us to...
Fans demand us screaming into our microphones.
Well, I know. I wanted to. All right. It brings us to...
Go ahead.
Okay. That was a promo.
Okay, that promo. All right.
Okay, that promo.
All right, that promo.
Okay, well,
right.
It's a little bit better than every other promo so far this season.
In the forest of the in the forest of the night is the name of the episode. Another one that I have almost no idea. I mean, I know that the forests grow all over Earth, like overnight. That's all I know.
Yeah. It's got Danny Pink taking an active role, leading a bunch of kids from Coal Hill. Mm-hmm.
Which I'm excited about that because I've been hoping that he was going to do more, and so far he's just been on the phone.
He did phone in a couple of those. Sorry, that was left over from the Mummy.
This one had a train. Flatline did have a train in it.
It did have a train in it. Oh, God.
I will not do it, though. We won't do it.
Please don't change the station. We're getting over the puns.
Okay. No, all right. So anyway, all right. This one.
This
right
one, yeah. Down the flat line.
He was good. He was good in The Caretaker. He had an active role. And then the last 3 episodes, he hasn't done anything but be on the phone. And sort of maybe talk to Clara at the end or in the middle.
He broke his foot. He's healing.
And so I'm excited that he's going to have an active role in this one.
I am excited to see him. I want to see him and the Doctor interact more. I really think the two need more time together.
Well, they just kind of left it on a sour note. No, like get out of my TARDIS was like the last. You know
what? One of my friends said to me just the other day, the thing he's most disappointed in this season is there's no freaking closure in any of these episodes. Everything that's happening is just like, let's move on. Mm-hmm. And he's right.
He is right.
And this is the biggest disappointment of the season is there's no closure. You have no idea how the Doctor stands with anything or anyone, specifically this new companion, Danny Pink.
I was expecting him to warm up to him. Like, Danny was going to save the day at the end of The Caretaker, and he's like, you know what, you're all right. But it didn't happen. He was still pissed.
He was still pissed.
So, your friend is totally right. There is no closure to some of these. And a lot of these, this one too, he says something to Clara and she's like, huh? At the very end. And that was the end. There was no closure to, well, what do you mean? Oh, now I understand.
Well, and here's a tough one. She just got called on the fact that she's lying. We have this really big fallout with the Doctor. Again, are we going to see any of this in the next episode? Are we going to... Yeah. Danny...
Well, and we're led to believe that Danny is... He doesn't know that she's still traveling with him.
How? She was just in mortal danger.
Yeah, we didn't get...
On the phone with her.
Yeah.
Jumping through a window.
So, yeah...
As something in the background was screaming, I'm going to kill you, I'm a monster on Doctor Who. Like, he was well aware of what was going on.
So, I'm excited to see him because we'll get more of this sort of...
Yeah.
He's going to find... I'm sure he's going to find out, oh, you're still knocking about, are you?
Or there'll be no closure to that. He'll just be like, wait, Doctor? 2-parter over. I guess I'll just join up. And you're what? Capaldi's not even going to regenerate on camera. He's just one day we're going to turn it on. It's going to be a brand new person, and we're just going to be like, no closure. That was Capaldi's run.
That was it. No.
And it's next episode, like mid-scene, it's him talking to a bunch of kids, and then all of a sudden they walk into another room, and it's Ed Asner. Like, it's a brand new guy.
I regenerated. Moving on.
Moving on. Big deal. What do you want, a parade?
Okay, so In the Forest of the Night looks good. It's another Earth episode, so it's like 2 in a row, which I would be okay with, except I'm pretty sure the next 2 are on Earth also. It's like 4 Earth episodes in a row.
We've had a bunch of non-Earth ones in a row.
I guess you're right. Kill the
Space Train,
Express.
Moon, an alien planet with a bank. The banks aren't Earth.
Yeah, so I guess you're right.
They even ended the one before that on Gallifrey. Come on, dude. Come on.
This season,
They've done like
that's a
4
good
in
point.
a
This season
row.
has been very Earth heavy.
Has it?
But not in the... Yeah. It has. Listen.
Deep breath.
Okay,
Robots of Sherwood.
breath. Robot of Sherwood. Listen.
And Flatline.
Flatline. And The Caretaker.
Oh, I always forget about the Caretaker.
In the Forest of the Night. And the next 2.
Because you get Into the Dalek is another planet. Obviously, it's an asteroid belt.
Mm-hmm.
You get...
Time Heist.
Time Heist, thank you. Mummy and the Orient Express. Kill the Moon, which is on the moon.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, alright.
Well, so, okay.
Hey, you know what? This season's been really Earth heavy.
Yeah, it has. Well, the finale could take us somewhere. We're going to the Nether Sphere, maybe. So something else.
Turns out it's Mondas.
Ooh. Oh, that would. Hey, hey, that could work. That's the interesting thing too, and we'll talk about this next episode when we get some previews. There's going to be some Cybermen coming up. But we don't know
people with their Cybermen hats
Why
on.
are there Cybermen? Why is Missy in charge of some Cybermen? We shall see.
And why are they casually hanging out with the Doctor and Unit?
I don't know.
Like, entire scenes where people are talking is being filmed, and the Cybermen are just standing there like, yo, dude, want to get a coffee? Yeah, let's get a coffee. Just 2 cyber bros just chilling.
I gotta head to the bank. Man, we are getting off topic tonight. All right, Force of the Night. There's wolves running through the woods.
Wolves running through... I've read a synopsis, and they say something about a little girl with a red cape or hood.
So not only is Robin Hood real, but Little Red Riding Hood.
Well played, Moffat. I thought these were supposed to be less fantasy, less fairy tale.
Yeah.
You jackass.
So yeah, I don't know.
It was an okay preview.
It was an okay preview. One thing that was really funny about this preview, and I saw this online, there's a shot of a bus, and the bus has a promo for Doctor Who on it. Little meta there, so which is great.
Really, Moffat?
Really, guys? I think it's an Easter egg, probably. I mean, you barely see it, but it's there. You can see it.
I am firmly blaming Moffat on all of this now. Come on, dude. I mean, I love the in-joke whenever anyone goes, Doctor Who? Like, that kills me. But...
There's a great... I don't know if you've ever seen it, but there's a great moment during the 7th Doctor's turn where, like, Ace is, like, in a room, and she's going to turn off the TV, and the TV's like, next in our Saturday programming, the next installment of our British Cyber program, Doc! And she turns it off.
Yes.
That's pretty funny,
This
too.
is not the first time we've done this.
Yes.
All in all, I don't know. This promo was okay. It was better than most. It at least it looked pretty and seemed interesting.
Uh-huh.
God, I would kill for a good promo for the end.
I would.
Like,
let's all say a prayer.
Dear
Missy.
gods of the promos.
In the Nether Sphere.
I don't know what we did to upset you. You were doing so good through Time of the Doctor, even. But then, somehow, somewhere, some why, you decided to hate us. Don't hate us. The end.
The end.
I had nothing else to say to the guys of the promos. A P.S. I'll see you at dinner Thursday night. Because you're my brother. I don't know.
Brothers, the gods of the promos? Wow.
Clearly, we have the same mother. Step Brothers.
Mother of promos. Anyway, so thanks. Man, this was a silly one. Thanks for joining us, guys.
Like the Young and the Restless.
Yeah. This was a great episode. I'm really looking forward to these last 3. It's going to be sad, but
yeah,
it's going to be good. So stay tuned to the Vortex, guys, and thanks for listening.
Maybe Osgood is Missy. And the scarf is the Nethersphere?
So she's basically a stalker.
Yes.
She sees Clara in the Day of the Doctor, and then she's like, "Oh, I must get them to meet." And then she goes back in time.
Love it.
Call Moffat. Get Moffat on the phone.
Yes, somebody quickly before he he fails to finish another arc.
All right, everyone.
Hey guys, thanks for joining us. Thank you again for listening to another Voices for the Vortex reviews for Season 8. And hey, we'll see you next week.
Goodbye.
So long.
That'll be as it saying goodbye. I do.
Voices from the Vortex is written, edited by, and starring Taylor Davidson and Matthew Whitecamp.
With Danielle Davidson as the sexy voice of the TARDIS.
Theme music composed by Brian Wurst.
Visit our website, www.broadcastgallifrey.com.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel for an enhanced podcast experience.
Follow us on Twitter, @Vortex Podcast.
Like us on Facebook.
Follow us on Tumblr and Google+.
Subscribe to us on iTunes. And if you like what you've heard, leave a review.
Ask us a fan question through any of these media, and we'll answer it on the podcast.
Thanks for listening, and stay tuned to the Vortex.
End of transmission.